Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Abayomi Jolayemi. I'll be showing you quadratic formula, how we can use quadratic formula to solve quadratic equation. In my previous video, I said we have four methods of solving quadratic equation. First method is completely the square method that I did in my previous video. Second one is factorization method that I've also done. This is quadratic formula, and the fourth is graphical method. Now, having this general form of a quadratic equation, I will show you how I can get my quadratic formula from this general form of quadratic equation. Follow me as I go. I can say divide the equation by the coefficient of s squared. What is the coefficient of s squared in this equation? The coefficient of s squared is a. Therefore, it becomes s squared plus bs over a plus c over a equals to 0. You don't forget, if you are dividing a 0 with any number, you are getting a 0 back. So that is the reason why when I divided my 0 with a, I got a 0 back. Now, this equation can simply imply this: s squared plus bs over a equals to minus c over a. Here, I've transferred c over a to the other side to become minus c over a. If you have been following my video, in my previous video where I treated completing the square method, I said when we get to this place, we can simply say add the square of half of the coefficients of s to both sides. That means we are to add the square of half of the coefficients of s to both sides. It implies s squared plus bs over a plus b over 2a all in square equals to minus c over a plus b over 2a all in square. Now, what I wrote here, this is the equation. You know, I'm adding the square of half of the coefficient of s. What is the coefficient of s? The coefficient of s is b over a, and I'm adding the square of half of the coefficient of that s to both sides. Therefore, I said in my previous video, I said we can bring these two together because there is one thing that is common to both, and that thing is that power of 2. And we forgo this. Therefore, it becomes s plus b over 2a all in square equals to minus c over a. Here, I can simply open this bracket by saying b raised to power 2 becomes b squared over. Don't forget, this raised to power 2 affected both the numerator and the denominator. Therefore, 2 squared also will give us 4, and a squared remain a squared. From here, I can say s plus b over 2a still raised to power of 2, and here I can find the LCM of these two fractions by bringing them together. What is the LCM of this denominator? We are having a here, we are having 4a squared here. The LCM of this a and 4a squared remains 4a squared. And now we can find a in 4a squared. A in 4a squared will give us 4a. That means 4a squared divided by a will give us 4a. Then that 4a, if you multiply it with minus 6, we are getting minus 4ac. Minus 4ac plus 4a squared. In 4a squared, we are getting 1. And that 1, if you multiply it with b squared, we are getting b squared. From here, I can say s plus b over 2a squared equals to, I want to rearrange this by saying b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. 4a squared. Now, from this side, I can say, since this one is raised to power 2, this raised to power 2 can later make this to be root. It implies s plus b over 2a equals to root b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. 4a squared. Don't forget, we are having plus and minus, and also this root is affecting both numerator and denominator. Here I can say s plus b over 2a still give us this b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. What did I do here? Since this root is affecting both numerator and denominator, then the root of 4 can give us 2, the root of a squared can give us a, and the root still affects numerator. Therefore, it becomes plus minus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That means I found the root of 4a squared to give me 2a. Now, since it is s we are looking for the root of that equation. Therefore, s becomes minus b over 2a plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac over 2a over 2a. You can see there is something common to these two, which is their denominator, 2a. Therefore, we can bring them together to become a single fraction by saying s equals to, the root is, the denominator is 2a, the LCM of these two is still 2a. 2a in 2a will give us 1. Multiply it by minus b, we are getting minus b. Plus minus root 2a is still 2a in 2a is 1. Multiply it with this, we are still getting b squared minus 4ac. Therefore, this is the quadratic formula of quadratic equation. Quadratic formula of quadratic equation. We can also use this method to solve a quadratic equation, or at times a question might be raised that you should use quadratic formula in solving quadratic equation. This is the quadratic formula, which says s equals to minus b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Example, if we are having 2s squared minus 10s plus 5 equals to 0, you can see that this equation looks like this equation. What are we going to do if you are to use quadratic formula? All you need to do is just make these two to be a, this is b, and this is c. Now that means our a is 2, the coefficient of s squared, our b is minus 10, the coefficient of s, and our c is that constant plus 5. Getting this, you can imply it into the quadratic formula and you get the root of the equation of this example that I've written. Thank you for listening to me. Till I see you again on this my platform, I say you should remain educationally intelligent. And don't forget also to subscribe, to share, and to like my video. Thanks.